Now, today we'll be discussing about the marketing environment. Now, when I'm talking about the marketing environment, mainly the competitive forces, product life cycle and business cycle, which I discussed with you in last session. This time we'll be discussing we'll be taking some example of Taiwan and all, and then we'll understand how this we can plot with the data to the product cycle and the business life cycle. Then we'll be talking about the micro and macro environment of the business, and finally the intellectual property rights, how it is related to the marketing and how we can play with this intellectual property rights when we are talking about branding, when you are talking promoting anything, patenting something and all that I will discuss, which can go always in our favor. And I'll be taking different cases like Manik Chand Masala, Pan Masala, different companies those who have faced a problem for not doing the ensuring the IPR rights for the business and the product and the logo and all of those things. Okay, makes sense. So today is sufficient for this. Now let's start with this. What is the competitive forces? Now, the moment we are talking about the competitive forces, it comes about the market and all, how it is happening. Okay, it talks about polyistic competition, monopoly competition, oligopoly competition, and pure competition. Let's start one by one, whatever we can discuss. Let's start with this monopoly. You know that monopoly means only one player will be the market and other players will be kicked off. Okay, that is the power which one company may have in the market, and they can enjoy the everything, means control on price, then control on product, services, and everything. So this is basically the monopoly of any market. Now, in monopoly, mono means one. So in market, only one player will be there. That is the concept. Now, in this case, what will happen? That entry barrier is very high for the new entrants. Let's take an example. When we are talking about the monopoly, it will be basically either one giant company or a company particularly to the core business wherein other people cannot get into. Let's take an example, very easy example, which is the Indian Railways. Now, how many of you think that Indian Railways are monopoly? They are having the monopoly in their segment. Indian Railways I'm talking about. I can remember that maybe 20 years back, Tata wanted to take Indian Railways, a portion and all. They denied. They denied completely. Even Tata said that Tata was so much of confident that point of time, not 20, maybe 25 or 30 years back. Okay, around 97, 96, that point of time. Our Indian economy was down. You know that 1992, 93, that situation was very bad. After that, to overcome from the Indian economy or the problems, Tata offered Indian Railways that point of time that they can take some portion of the Indian Railways, and they will make it profitable within 10 years. And not only the 10 years, they will lie almost, I think, 1,000 kilometers Indian railway lines. They will make it using gold, something like that. That kind of confidence they showed to the railway ministry. But fortunately or unfortunately, railways that point of time, 30 years back, they denied that to give it in the hand of private player. I'll tell you what is the situation now. So you can understand that they didn't want to leave the monopoly. Fine. So only one player will be there, and entry barrier is very high. Entry barrier does not mean only in terms of, I will say money, or not in terms of what I will say. It's not that you do not have money, sufficient money. That is the reason you are not able to take entry. It is not like that. To justify this, this comment, I will tell you that how many of you know that actually Indian Airlines was started by Tata, Jamshedji Tata. It was started in the year of, I think, 1930 or 19 something like that, or something before that also, but it was always in the private hand, Tata. After 1947, means after independence, Jawaharlal Nehru approached the then Tata head and said that we should have our national carrier. Okay, so I request you, please hand over Indian Railways, sorry, Air India, Indian Airlines to us. It should be a pride for India, pride for the country. And that is the reason, you know, what I will say, it was handed over. Now, the problem is why I am justifying this. I am giving you this example to justify this fact that if you are having money, in that case, it is not sufficient to justify that there is an entry barrier. Entry barrier is not only for money, but for other compliances also. Since 1960, Tata was trying to take or get another airlines license. But due to the bureaucrats, due to whatever process, 60 years Tata did not get any new license for airlines in India. Surprising. Okay. The reason is different. The reason is many. I will not get into that. But only point is Tata had enough amount of money. But still, because of the compliance, because of some politics, because of some reason, he did not get, or sorry, Tata did not get another airlines license till date. They have acquired. Understood what I'm saying? Till date, they did not get the new license from Government of India. They were starting last 60 years. And that is the reason they started occupying foreign airlines like Vistar, like AirAsia. And then they acquired Air India when it was on sale. Understood what I'm saying? So if I'm talking about the antibodies, new entrants, for the new entrants, it does not mean at all I'm talking about the money only. It may be compliances, it may be situations, it may be whatsoever politics, it may be, the pestle, right? SWOT analysis and pestle. Economical, it may be legal, it may be anything. Is it okay? Then supply and price of the product is completely controlled by one firm. Now, if you observe last 10 years, how Indian Railways, they have changed their pricing strategy. Earlier, 10 years back, they used to charge only the 40 to 44% from passenger tickets. Okay. The rest used to be loss making. And now if you see, I think 56 or 60% they are charging from passengers and 40% is loss making. So now if I tell you that in last 10 years, they have increased the value, the money or the collection or the price of the ticket 15 to 20%. Is it justified? Is it okay? The answer is yes. If you ask me, they have increased. If they increase to 100% also, we cannot say anything. Do we have any other option? Only we can agitate. But other than that, we cannot do. The similar example I tried to give you previously also, like Walmart and other companies, those who wanted to control the market as a monopoly 10 years down the line and so on and so forth. So supply and the price of the product is controlled, completely will be controlled by the, that firm which comes under this monopoly. Now you tell me, if you are thinking that monopoly is bad, then why the entire country is not saying anything to Indian Railways or the government, or entire Indian government or the Indian Railways, knowingly that this is monopoly is bad, they are not doing anything else and they are not creating or encouraging other private players or other players to come in. During the COVID, that liquor, they got maximum revenue from selling liquors. You know that, right? So then in liquor industry or liquor segment, there are multiple players. There are multiple players, but they got the highest revenue. So if you are saying money is the reason or something, then it is contradicting. So if you say that monopoly is bad, then maybe after 100 years, 150 years of Indian Railways, they understood that and they started to some extent diluting that stake and offering to the private players. You understood now? Fine. Now moving ahead to the next one, which is oligopoly. Oligopoly is nothing but wherein few players in the market will be there. Few players means It is not many. The good example of oligopoly is telecom market. So we are having majorly three major competitors: Jio, Vodafone, Airtel. That's it, if I'm not wrong. Only these three major players. Okay. In this case, telecom industries, the entry barrier is very high. Now, when I'm talking about entry barrier, only not money, but also others which I told you. I'll give you another example. I'll ask you rather one information if you know, then I will give you the information if you don't know. Tell me, you have seen the BTS, right? BTS in base transmitting stations, which is we call tower. So to make or create one tower, full tower, top to bottom and all, including BTS, drums, microwaves, horizontal microwaves, vertical microwave, these things and all. Total BTS you have seen, right? The tower, telecom tower. Do you know how much one company has to spend to create one tower or to introduce one tower in the network? Any idea? So it is 100 crores, reference 2008. When I was there in Vodafone, I had this data with me. 100 crore, one BTS means tower. And now in 2023, I don't know, it must be 200 crore minimum. Can you imagine? So when I'm talking high entry barrier, this is one of the reasons. The money is also an important thing, and the telecom regulations and so on and so forth. Yeah. The supply of the products are controlled by few players. If I tell you, you'll be surprised, only Nokia, Ericsson, and Huawei, these three players are there, suppliers are there for the switches and the main components of this Indian telecom towers, telecom switches and all. Huawei, Nokia, or क्या बोला? Ericsson, these three. So the controlling power of suppliers also important in that. I will explain this in Potter's 5 force model in next strategic management paper if I'm getting time. Okay. So generally decision taken by one firm can influence to the other firm's decision taken by the other firm. I can remember in the before 2007, in fact, before 2008, incoming used to be charged. How many of you know or can remember? I don't know. Incoming calls used to be charged 5 rupees, 7 rupees, 10 rupees and all. Plus outgoing calls, you know that. If you are making calls, that will also be charged. If you're getting calls, that also will be charged. Generally, what used to happen that 50-50 they used to share later before that, before 2007. Let's say one call 10 rupees, 5 rupees I will pay when I'm calling. I think 5 rupees I will pay when I'm receiving the call, something like that. 70-30 or 50-50 that ratio. But in 2008, 2007, after 2007 January, it got reduced from 7 rupees to, let's say, 1 rupee 50 paise. And it ran almost 1.5 years. 2008 July, 2008, I think January or February, Airtel made incoming calls completely free, no charge. Can you imagine now? Understand the scenario now. Suddenly, Vodafone and Airtel was the big competitor, each of them. In Lower Parel, Kamla Mills complex, we had our Vodafone office just next building, not building the same campus, next building was Airtel head office. No, Airtel head office, you can say, whatever office, main office. So think that you are the CEO, chief marketing officer of Vodafone. Night 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it is declared by Airtel that immediate basis, effective immediately, incoming calls for Airtel users are free. Now you understand, you are the chief marketing officer of Vodafone. Suddenly you got to know that one competition of your nearest competition declared completely zero incoming calls. Then what will be the impact on your business? Being a customer, definitely tomorrow morning I will go and I will move from Vodafone to Airtel, isn't it? And
Well,
immediately the number of users will go high for the Airtel. Airtel will become the number one telecom company in this country. So that is the strategy which Airtel took. Now, what is the counter strategy Vodafone took? The moment 4 o'clock it was declared and commercial came into the picture in website and TVs and all. From that 4 o'clock to next 3 days, Vodafone stopped top management's movement from that head office to outside. And these 3 days, within 3 days, they had to take a call whether they are also going to make it zero incoming call or something like that. Without, under any circumstances, they're going to lose their customers. Now, in that case, what happened during the 3 days of time, full day and day night, including MD, including CEO Naveen Chopra, including VP, including all of those things, Chief Marketing Officer, Prakash Kolau, their team, everybody was sitting and trying to, and sales head, they're trying to understand that what impact is going to happen and how this much of revenue can be compensated, okay, with additional customers and the value-added services. Think that for this 1.5 rupees incoming call, and there are crores of customers, immediately from next moment it will be zero. Then how come that let's say 10 crore, 20 crore, 100 crore revenue will be compensated by extra sales, number of sales or something, adding selling value additions, value added services and all. If you remember, or if you understand that after 2008 only, that point of time only, value added services became more popular or more chargeable. SMS became not free. Used to give cap on that. Let's say 100 SMS, 150 SMS in a month. After that, you are chargeable. BlackBerry came into the picture. BlackBerry services, basic service, enterprise service, professional service, so on and so forth. Caller tune got introduced, chargeable, 30 rupees per month, and so on and so forth. So these were the business impact when we are talking about the oligopoly. Few players, but there is a chance of making cartel also. What happens in cement industry? Few players are there, they join together and they say, okay, fine, I am increasing 100 rupees per 25 kgs basta bag, and somebody else also will increase. What happens in real estate scenario? Everywhere if you go, in the same locality, the price rate is same, per square feet price rate is same. How come it is possible? They make cartel. Cartel means joining together, joining hands together and controlling the price. Herein, Airtel, whatever it is not a carteling. It was a business move. Understood the difference between oligopoly, wherein free decision, own decision, and the control decision, carteling. Okay. At times, few large players can, it is mentioned, carteling, influence pricing and all. You understood, right? What is oligopoly now? Now, when I'm talking about the monopolistic competition, it may be that there are many firms and the market share is divided among them. When I'm talking about the FMCG, good example of is FMCG. You will see Patanjali is there, Wipro Oil is there, Hindustan Unilever products are there, all of those things are there. To increase their share, firms try to differentiate their product by using various components of the market mix. Market mix is nothing but when different types of products you have introduced in the market. That is called market mix, nothing else. Okay, product mix and marketing mix. Different market, different products you have done, you have introduced. Fine. And how you are doing? Differentiating the product. If I say that I like Patanjali toothpaste, and there is another toothpaste also Colgate. Fine. So there is always competition. Why I like Patanjali toothpaste? Because it may be possible that it kills the bad odor and something like that, which maybe Colgate does not do, as per my understanding and my usage. That is the reason I use, let's say, Patanjali, not the Colgate. Or it may be possible some few customers will say, no, I like Colgate because the taste is sweet. Then there is something called Dabur Red toothpaste, same category toothpaste, but there are many players wherein they are making different products, not products, varieties of the products. It is called product mix. You understood the product mix, market mix and all? So therein it may be possible that somebody will use a Dabur Red, and Dabur Red toothpaste, and maybe somebody will not like. So this is nothing but the monopolistic competition. Basically, this is the ideal market competition or market competitive forces. And we are expecting that also, fine, that it will happen in the market. Now, another thing, something called is pure competition. Now, pure competition, it is idealistic in nature. Why? Because there are a large number of buyers and sellers selling the homogeneous product. Now, mainly if I talk about the agricultural product, homogeneous product means, let's say somebody who is selling potato. It's a good idea, example of this pure competition. I'm a farmer, I'm selling one potato or producing one potato and selling to you. To some extent, there are two types of product, Jyoti and another type of product. Another type Jyoti and Suryamukhi, something like that. I don't know. So more, but there are many farmers, many producers, those who are producing the similar product. So there are a large number of buyers like you and me. So this is homogeneous market, basically. Sorry, homogeneous product and homogeneous usage of that products. Agriculture sector comes into this segment. There are many buyers, many consumers, farmers selling their own on their own for products, whatever they're producing, and we are also buying the similar thing. Okay. Now, herein, if you think that only single producer or the seller can control the market, it is highly impossible. Highly impossible. But understand this point. Walmart, Reliance Fresh, they thought to control like this. I told you that they will buy next 20 years fruits, crops from a farmer, and they will try to control in a large community in terms of pricing and all. But anyhow, it didn't work. It cannot work like that because of the government intervention. But however, in pure competition, one single producer cannot influence. You buy it from your next shop, Kirana shop, they will also give you 30 rupees per kilo. You buy it from Big Basket, Delhi and all, they will charge you maybe 28 rupees. But one particular seller cannot control, because that particular seller cannot support all or fulfill all the requirements of these large consumers. Yeah, and there is no entry barrier. You are, as a farmer, if you are growing 10 kilos potatoes, you can come and sell 1 quintal, 10 quintal, 100 quintals, same thing. You can come and sell to the market. There is no entry barrier. So these are the main competitive forces: monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition, and the pure competition in our Indian economy and the market, which plays the major role. Now, all these competitions, forces and all, we will see again when we will be discussing about the Michael Porter's 5-force strategy model in strategic management lesson. Any question till now? So the marketing environment is affected by the level of competition. The structure of the market determines the level of the competition in the industry. Any question related to this competitive forces and all? Okay.